because I don't think I can do advanced. I think that advanced is just too much for me. Like, I really can't. My skill is not there. I thought so too, but wait, I already read that. What am I doing? My bad. But yeah, you know, the thing is, yeah, technology. About that, you know, my shoes don't care that much about technology, really. I mostly just care about video games. The fact that I'm a programmer is pretty much, you know, a way to get a job more than anything. And in a country like this one, programmers are highly requested. Obviously, programmers are highly requested all around the world, but you know, the point is that for the most part, programmers here are not that common, because when it comes to the job market here, the share is basically lawyers, doctors, what else? People that are not even, you know, working legally. And then you have the construction workers too. Other than that, the rest is not that common. But I'm assuming that's the case in every country, right? I mean, programmers are not common in any country as far as I know. Maybe they are gonna be common at some point, but I think that until they start teaching programming on like a middle school, it's just not gonna be possible for, you know, programming to be overrepresented. Because learning programming by yourself can be a little bit challenging if you don't go to a specific place that teach you. There are lots of people, don't get me wrong, that actually try to learn by themselves, and they can do a good job at doing that, but it's pretty hard. People seem to be very interested in it because they hear that you can get great money. Well, even if it's not really true that you can get a lot of money from programming, I mean, you can, but if you do something by yourself that is groundbreaking. If you do anything else, like if you work for a company, not really. So, but it's a really easy way to get a job, at least here. There might be some countries that require more experience, but here you can get hired relatively easily if you're a programmer. And I say relatively because it still takes you some time. In fact, it took me like 5 months to find a job as a programmer. So it's not that it's that easy, but compared to other jobs, it's way easier to find a job. Damn it, are you serious? Not enough money to get rich, but enough to get a good living? Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, but I mean, I think almost any job that is not minimum wage is enough to comfortably live. Unless you have like 4 children, in which case, well, good luck. But if you're on your own, I think that any non-minimum wage job in most places can allow you to live comfortably. You program because you enjoy it. I can relate unfortunately. Probably not gonna get hired because of your mental health. I mean, when they hire me, the only mental health test that they gave me was basically me talking about my personal life and making me draw some shit. That's it. So, you know, I don't think you should have a problem unless you are, you know, one of those unfortunate psychopaths that get like a psycho drive all of a sudden that cannot be avoided. But I don't think that's the case for you. When I went to university, they skipped some of these things because they heard that I went to an IT-like field in the university. When you say they skipped a lot of those things, you mean the interview? Because in that case, I still needed to do a practical test before I got hired, even if I had the title. But you know, it was a good test, it was fun. Like when I went to the mental health test. Oh, you mean that you got some questions skipped because you went to university? Then that's so fucking dangerous. This guy went to university. He can't possibly be a fucking psychopath, right? Yeah, no way. No psychopath has ever you know, went through university. Separate to the university. Let's see. If you are diagnosed with DPDR, I don't know what that is, unfortunately. That's most likely will mean no for me. I don't know what DPDR is. That sounds like a rhythm game, but it's probably not. Depersonalization. I also don't know what that is. Sorry, bro. I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to mental health. I have no idea what that is. Though I'm assuming depersonalization means something like not treating people like people? Nah, I don't think they will call it that way. Like, I'm pretty sure that will have a different name, right? I honestly don't know. When it comes to mental health, I have no clue. Pretty ignorant. Well, I mean, after all, I never went to the doctor to check my mental health. So, I'm not knowledgeable at all. I have no experience. I don't think that I will have good chances. Losing track of reality and your own self. Interesting. Losing track of reality. Huh. I wonder how that feels. Losing track of reality. I'm assuming that when you lose track of reality, you are not aware that you are losing track of reality, right? I mean, otherwise, it wouldn't be a pro. I didn't see that attack coming for some reason. I've been living the need life for too long. I only been a need for a total of like, I think it was 6 months one time and 6 months another time. It was in 2 different phases, because when I finished high school, I basically took like a 6-month break before I got into university. And when I finished university, while I was looking for a job, I was like 5 years or 6 years before I got hired. So those were the only times where I was a need. Other than that, I always been either on education or employment. I never been into training, funnily enough. Only education and employment. Never been into training because fuck training. Also, fuck you for killing me like that. What the hell? Piece of shit. Ah, that's such a shame. That didn't kill all of them. It's okay, I can still kill them separately. For me, I also have an isolated lifestyle. Well, I do have an isolated lifestyle too. I mean, literally, I don't exit my house in like 10 months. Literally, ever since the lockdown happened and I didn't need to go to office anymore, I've been at my own house for 10 months and literally never stepped one foot on the street. But I don't need to because I remotely work. So thankfully that is not needed. But honestly, you know, I don't think it's more of a... Like, even if the lockdowns weren't here, I probably wouldn't go out either. Mostly because this city is an absolute piece of trash. I don't mind going out, like the concept of going out. The problem is that this city is garbage. So basically, going out is something that you only want to do in places that are worth it. And I can tell you that this city is just not worth it at all. This city is just an absolute dumpster. Sometimes even literally it's a dumpster. Sometimes there is so much trash in the street that it literally looks like a dumpster. But you know, the point is, fuck this city, is what I'm trying to say, in case it wasn't clear enough. But you know, thankfully, there are a lot of other cities in this country that are actually worth it. It's just that this one is not one of them. In fact, I will probably say that it might be one of the worst cities in the country. Probably. I mean, it has its advantages, obviously, but the disadvantages are way too much. Way too many. Like, way too much and way too many. So, you know. At the same time, a lot of people have to come here no matter what. Because there are, for example, a lot of medical stuff that you cannot do in a smaller city, because this one is the capital city of the country, right? So basically, no other city is richer than this one. Like, this is the richest city in the country, and everything that happens here is something that if you don't find it here, you are not finding it anywhere else in the country. Except for peace, because peace is some... I mean, did I pronounce it properly? I mean peace as in, you know, the opposite of chaos. Not peace as in what comes out of your, you know, means zero social skills. The best way to learn how to deal with people is by actually dealing with people. I mean, before university I also didn't know how to deal with people, but honestly, you gotta understand that probably most of the reasons why you might not know how to deal with people is probably because you hold those other people in a higher esteem than yourself. The truth is that first of all, there is not such a thing as normal people. That's a lie. Nobody's truly normal. Everyone tries to pretend that they are, but nobody is actually normal. So once you understand that, it becomes a lot easier. Basically, dealing with strangers, and I'm not talking about friends, obviously, I'm talking about specifically about strangers. It's all a matter of, you know, pretending to be normal, and that's it. As I say, nobody's normal. There is not a single person that is normal. Everyone has their own shit, but when they are at public with strangers, they hide it. Obviously, but that's the whole point. So the best way to deal with people is to pretend that you are normal, and also keep into account that the people that you're talking to is just like you. That is a weird fuck that is pretending to be normal. So you just gotta take into account, and when you take that into account, it becomes a lot easier. That's something that I realized when going to university and going to work. In both places, everyone, like outside of their public persona, is what will be considered a fucking weirdo. Like, I had some people from work that I talk privately to, and in fact some of them even come to this chat, and if you didn't know them, you will be like, damn, these people are very, very cool, right? Like, they are very normal members of society. But yeah, as soon as you start talking to them with private, you realize that they are just weird fucks like yourself. It's just that obviously they don't show it, because why would they? So yeah, you gotta take that into account. If you take that into account, everything becomes a lot easier. You also gotta take into account that what other people think of you is not important, unless it's something like, I don't know, what your boss thinks of you in terms of how you work. Well, yeah, that probably is important if you want to keep your job or something like that. But what people think of you when it comes to personal preference or taste, that's something that whatever they think is absolutely irrelevant. Like, it doesn't matter unless you want it to matter. So you have control over that. You have to hold in a smaller esteem what other people think of you. And that includes both the good things and the bad things. The good things, because there is a lot of people that, like, sometimes they praise you a lot. Those people, you also have to not care that much about what they think. because most of the times they are either exaggerating or they are trying to get something out of you by praising you so much. And when the praises are deserved, it's also something that you are better off ignoring, because a lot of praise can make you grow a really big ego that after it's grown so much, it's really hard to make it go down. So yeah, when it comes to opinion of other people, try to not pay much attention about anything. And if you want to actually care about what other people say, try to reserve that to friends and family, and even those sometimes it's better to ignore. So yeah, it's basically all a matter of what you allow yourself to affect you, or what you are like, no, I'm not gonna let this affect me. Like, I had a different lifestyle at home, it's complicated. And I don't know what your particular situation is, but what I'm trying to say is that if you take those things that I told you into account, you're probably gonna have an easier time altogether. I know that I do. I also used to be pretty, pretty nervous every time that I had to socialize with someone outside of my inner circle of family and friends, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. So yeah, just take that into account and you should be mostly fine. Just hiss and roar at people that come closer than 3 meters. Well, I don't do that, but usually when I used to go to my office, I used to ignore everyone in the street that tried to talk to me, because a big city like this is very well known to scammers. So there is a lot of people constantly trying to either scam you or rob you. So you don't want, obviously, to deal with that shit. So the best you can do is just ignore them. I think one of the only times that I actually listened to what someone had to say is a tourist that wanted me to take him a picture in one of the tourist hotspots of the city. That's the only time that I actually stopped when someone talked to me. And the picture was pretty shitty, by the way, but it's alright. I'm not good at taking pictures. I mean, I'm not good at at handling cell phones. So, it's one of those things that, I'm just not good at. But, the point is, it also depends on the city you live. There are a lot of cities that are pretty safe, and talking to random people on the street won't get you, robbed or scammed. I got it. Another one going clear. It's pretty unfortunate that this is the most that I can do. I really wish I could one going clear on the next difficulty after this one, but I really can't. It's just too hard. Thanks. I really wonder how much the ending changes for this specific character. What does this character have? At the deepest level, I think this is okay. This is literally the same text. Can I skip it? Yeah. Well, not like skip it, but I can make it, you know, faster. But this one should be a different ending. Mews awoke to a familiar sight. Her still running monitor cast a glow in the dark room. She convinced herself that she was back in the real world. Wait, so the game is not taking place in the real world? What on earth was that? What on earth was what? The computer system that brought calamity to mankind centuries ago. The AIM-RS. Not to mention it transcended time to do so. What? This show has gone too far. Yeah, the story's a little bit of a joke, I gotta admit. Say I had somehow played a part in shooting down the MRS. Does that mean that I saved the world? Fairy tale and based in reality. You know, regardless of what you did, what's important is that the credit is on me, so fuck you. That is until I come upon those two. So they work together, it seems. Like, all of them go against the final boss at the same time. It's kinda like, you know, in Toho, where a lot of people say that the multiple playable characters in the game do the same thing at the same time, in the sense that, for example, Rainbow and Marisa beat the bosses at the same time, or something like that, or that they at least go parallelly to the same final place, which is understandable, but here they actually tell you that it happens. It would be nice if you actually could use the 3 ships at the same time and you like switch in between them, in the sense that you kind of like use a button to switch shot types in the middle of the playthrough. That will be cool. Is there a Danmaku game that does that? I don't really recall any Danmaku game that does that, really. Is there? I honestly don't remember. Yeah? Which one? I'm trying to remember Danmaku games that I played that do that, but there was something like that. Yeah, I know that at some point there is gonna be a game that is like that, but the question is which one? Like, that's the real question. The fact that if there is or not, yeah, there obviously is one like that somewhere. Damn, I got an achievement called Noisy Days. Good shit.